Squadron, thanks for coming out yet again. You gotta hit the subscribe button, like it, and share it. This video we're gonna cover the trailing arm bushing removal and replacement. I'm gonna show you how I made the tool for less than 20 bucks and how you can make one too without any kind of welding. Here we go. Okay, so you want to have the car up in the air and you want to have your jack stand somewhere like that and have another jack available to be able to raise the rear axle up and down. And what you're going to want to do is remove this whole entire rear trailing arm, starting with the spring seat screw there. Pull that out and pull your spring out. There's not going to be a whole lot of pressure on it. And you can take this big nut out that's up here. You take this big guy out, take this out. That's going to be the strut or the shock mount. And you're going to pull the two bolts on the inside of here that hold the sway bar. This one here is just like a dead end stud. It should stay still for you while you back the nut off. If not, then you're probably going to have to heat it up or grab it with pliers. And basically you want to get the whole trailing arm free so that you can access this part here. And that's where we're going to put the tool on and pull that bushing out of there. I already completed that side just so I didn't have to fuck around and experiment while I was showing you guys how to do this side. So here are the, I guess you could say, 3 or 4 main components you're going to need to pull this bushing out of the axle. The rear trailing arm bushing is right here. It is in between these two ears that are welded to the axle, and it's pressed into there, so it's a big icky job and people hate doing it. So as you can see, my bushing is pretty well shredded and the old one just fell out of the other side. So what we're going to do is position this press on here, which is just made from like a 10-inch bolt and 2 to 1.5 inch iron pipe coupler, 1.5 inch plug, and a hole that I drilled in there. And then this is a 2-inch electrical conduit fitting that's threaded. And all this stuff is like the perfect diameter. This thing you're going to have to kind of find on your own. This metal follower guy. I got this out of a ball joint press kit, but you can use other things. You're just going to need something that's the same diameter as the bushing. So we're going to get this thing all fumbled on there, and then I'll get another videotape going. Okay, with the press all cinched up around the bushing there, you're going to want to have a little half moon piece of that 2-inch coupler. You're going to want to buy 2 of those 2-inch couplers, and you need a little half moon piece and kind of just put it in there with some tie wire so that it can't crush these 2 ears together as you start drawing this bushing out of here. So if you don't know what's going on by now, we got a long bolt going through here, and this cup here is big enough to accept this bushing and push it into there. So we're going to draw the follower, which is this guy here, draw the follower through and push the bushing into the cup. So let's crank on it here. I don't have my GoPro charged right now, so I'm just going to be one hand in there, just like when you spank it. Oh God, I can't. How about looking at the wrench and not the camera? Right. Ugh. I've been forbidden from going down in my garage because the yard is now too muddy in the winter months. Focus, you fuck. The yard is now too muddy to traverse. So, I've been forbidden to the driveway to carry all the tools up and down. And as you can see, this is kind of a two-handed job, so I am going to put the camera down and press this bushing out the rest of the way. Here's a new bushing here. There's going to be an arrow on it, and the arrow is supposed to be going down towards the ground on the axle. The old bushing said arrow points down, so I'm assuming that this one points down as well. They're tapered. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but the side where my pinky finger is here is a little fatter, and that's going to get pressed in from the center of the car like this. So it's going to stop on its own right about there, and you're going to get your press in a different configuration with a little bit of a shorter bolt, and we're going to press it in. So this time we're going to have the cup on this side and the follower is going to go on that side. Well, unfortunately I'm starting to get some ice rain falling on me here, and the weather's not real pretty, but the bushing's on its way back in, and this is what your press setup's going to look like when you're pressing back in. Basically you're going to be flipping the cup from this side to this side, and you're going to need some kind of stopper, and I have a nut there, and it's a carriage bolt, so I'm holding it with a pair of vice grips. I didn't have a hex bolt. And you just want to take the follower and use it to push the old bushing back in there, and you got to keep your little half moon piece tied in the middle. So I'm going to get this thing pushed in here, bolt my control arm back up, throw the spring and everything else back in, and wrap this little suspension job up, and we'll move on to a transmission mount and then some work under the hood, but that'll be in the next video. So that'll be all for the trailing arm bushing install. When you tighten this stuff down, it's just going to be so many ugga-duggas, you know. I don't really check the torque specs. You know who you're watching. Okay, I just let it down off the jack stands. Here's a little post-bushing inspection. So beforehand, before the bushing job, this passenger side wheel was almost touching that part of the body right there. It was really pushed forward, and the driver's side was the opposite. The driver's side was back. So now it looks like we got a pretty nice centered wheel in there. And looks like we got the same thing over here. This thing looks like it's pretty well centered too. So let's go for a test ride. Here goes a little bonus footage of the two-piece, well, what is now two-piece transmission mount that is, well, used to be under my car. So got a new one under there from FCP. Here's the new one from FCP Euro, and we'll see how long it lasts. See if I get some flash up in there. There we go. And there's the FCP Euro tranny mount. It was pretty easy. You got to drop the cross member down. There's 4 bolts. Have a jack underneath there and a piece of wood. Support the tranny. Drop the cross member down, and you'll be able to take that bolt out and pop this rubber plug here off. There's another nut up in there, and it comes right out. It's about a 15-minute job.